brain.
You're in a real office. My goodness sake, Sinbad. Welcome to the stage, Sinbad. Do
Cool.
you
How you
need,
doing?
you've done everything, Sinbad. You've
I've
done,
done some things.
man, you've been married to your wife twice.
Yeah, yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. It was so nice we had to do it twice.
Yes. When I read about you, it said that you've been married to a Meredith and then you married a Meredith. And I thought, well, I know your net worth is millions, but it was never Meredith Vieira.
I know.
How
No,
you
no.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm real good.
What
Well,
do you want to
other than watching what's going on in the world. So, I mean, I'm good physically, but I'm not good so much mentally, and I'm kind of drained with what I'm seeing and disappointed. But it's just but this was coming. I've been talking about it on my site and everything. I've been telling people this eventually this had to happen. If people can't learn to live together, if people can't feel for one another, if people can't pay attention, then this happens, and then everyone's shocked. I always crack up when people, oh my God, can you believe? It's like a baby. If you neglect the baby, you neglect the child, you neglect it. Then one day the child says, look, starts acting a fool in your house, and people say, why are you so mad? But it's not mad about that moment. It's mad about what led up to that moment.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
profound. I can't imagine what it's like to be Black in America. I could not, I probably would not be able to take it. And
But it's like being a man. I can't imagine what like being a woman. Think about it. When the Me Too movement, a lot of men caught feelings about that. A lot of men were like, "Oh man, well, you know what? I'm just not going to talk to nobody in the office." I said, "No, they didn't ask you to do that. They just asked you not to be a jerk." So people went. I play this the kind of the same way. People went all the way. Well, you know what? I'm just not going to speak to women at the office. I said, well, usually people that talk like that are the ones that are on the edge of probably being somebody that shouldn't have been talking to women in the first place. So we don't. So I have to do this, whether it's a gay community in America, whether it's a woman. I have to assume I can never know their plight. But there's a word called that we don't use a lot, empathy. So what I'll do is I'll empathize with you. I won't feel sympathy for you because I'm not going to feel sorry for you because people don't want you to feel sorry for them. But I'm going to listen and I'm going to empathize because empathize means you take action. Empathize means I don't just feel for what happened, but you also say, what can I do? What can I do to make it better? So I don't try to say, well, I know, if somebody dies, somebody goes, oh, I lost my grandmother. I know how it is. So, well, no, you don't know what my relationship was with my grandmother. The worst thing you can say to somebody that has lost someone, hey, I've been there. No, you haven't been there because my mother died. My mother died. So I people use the wrong word sometimes because they want to know how to feel, like you said. But what you just said was the best thing. I don't know what they could feel like to a woman that's been assaulted, to a woman that's felt slighted. No, as a man, been done wrong in the office, but I'm a man with a man do me wrong. So there's a whole different set of feelings because I'll wait for you in the parking lot. It goes to another place with men, but with a woman in a
just
place of
that
disrespect. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, to go
somebody's
to a
trying to
place.
give me a booty call at the
Oh
wrong
yeah.
time. Throw the phone.
Man, that's an early morning.
I ain't that hungry.
Yeah, man. I don't know. This pandemic has gotten people hungry out here. But you know what's funny about this pandemic? A lot of people have gone celibate for the first time. And think about it, not just celibate, you're going celibate, you're not buying clothes, you're not spending money like well, some people, I guess there's some people still doing it. But you realize, did I need to be doing all that stuff in the first place? Because everybody said, oh, I can't wait till it gets back. No, I don't think there's a get back. I think there's a new path. If you go back to where you were, if you leave this protest, if you leave this pandemic, and you are the exact same person, you know how shallow that is. You know how small that has to be. Like, oh, I just can't wait to go back and get my hair cut. I can't wait to swim. I saw those people at the Ozarks. I said, my mouth is open because people are dying, and you got people saying, it's a hoax. Well, you need to go to the hospital. If you really believe it's fake, sit in the emergency room and just breathe all that air in. Just sit there and volunteer and don't wear a mask and breathe all that air in and let me know how that works out for you.
I'm telling you. I ask people when I interview them, how is this pandemic going to make you a better person? And sometimes it's like, cue the crickets. They haven't thought how they could be
No.
better.
And some don't know. I'm like this. We don't know the total change because we're not done yet. We don't know the total change of what will be. I don't know the total change, but I know some things I'm not going to do the same way. I know I've enjoyed, like I've got a 4-month-old grandson at the house, and I'll be honest with you, if I hadn't had this the pandemic at first, I've been on the road like every 3 days, gone, just gone. And I got to see him. But now I'm watching this kid develop. I'm seeing him and I'm like this. I thank God for this opportunity. And I even told my wife, other than not making money, there hasn't been much downside. Other than worried about being other if you take away worried about being sick and not making money, there hasn't been much downside for me.
There hasn't.
I'm not spending much money on gas. I'm not running out. You run out. Oh, let me run the store real quick. Oh, let me go back. Oh, let me go to Best Buy. Oh, but it's almost 9. Let me get there. I'm like this. I'm good. I'm good. I'll get it tomorrow.
You served in the military, so did I.
Oh, are you Air Force?
Army.
The Army. I was Air Force, but I was
That's better.
immature. When I was in the Air Force, I was in. They ended up throwing me out. I was just. Well, it got me to where I am as a comic, the kind of person I became. In the same way I talk belligerent. Let me put it this way. All my friends, when I joined the Air Force, said, "You are the most unmilitary person we know." You know. And when people think about when people join the military during peacetime, remember, people understand military is a whole different thing during peacetime. I was right after the Vietnam War. So you're always preparing for a fake war. You're always having fake drills, you're doing fake things. Well, army's more intense, Marines. Air Force, we're just making stuff up because you don't even get a gun unless a war breaks out. Let's become a military police, you don't even shoot anymore. You're shooting basic training, and that's all there is to it. But you're doing your job. So and when I left though, I look back at the experience. That's why I always went back and entertained the troops. It was an Air Force talent show that got me here. So I said, I need to go back and pay some people back who I drove crazy. I had some officers and I had some people that were above me that saved me. They were good people. And I had some people that hated me. And that's fine too, because I wasn't trying to be loved except by my friends and the people of the rec center and the cool people. So I was loving that.
So you've gone and done comedy for the troops, and you
Yes.
were in the elite comedy group called Something Blue,
Oh, Tops and Blue.
Tops and Blue.
Tops of Blue is a Air Force talent show. A lot of people, Flip Wilson came out of there. Jerry Lewis came out of there. There's so many musicians and singers. At that time, they used to perform at halftime at the Super Bowls. They traveled. I wanted to wear that jumpsuit. They had the flight suit, the jumpsuit with a dickie. I said, "Oh man." See, you're looking for any way. You're looking for any way to separate yourself. You're young. How can I be elite? How can I separate myself? And when they came on my base, my mouth was open, and I ran. His name is Jim Walker. Still my friend, still alive. And I ran to the NCO club, and I said, "Hey man, I'm gonna win that next year." He looked at me like I was out of my mind. I said, "I'm winning that next year. I'm gonna win that next. What do I need to do to win?" And he wrote something down on a piece of paper and said, "Get out of my face." And yeah, I know. And for a year, I memorized what he wrote. When I went to the finals, because you go through base command, then you go through I go to your strategic air command, then I went to worldwide level. When I got there, he was there, and I showed him a piece of paper. I said, "Remember me?" He said, "Dude, you're the first one that ever took my advice."
Oh my
I said, "Hey,
gosh.
yeah." So it's things happen the way they're supposed to happen. Me going to the Air Force, I was supposed to go that route to get to this route. So all these things, some people curse their past. I said, no, man, everything I did got me here. I'm just glad I didn't do too many things. Some things leave scars. I try to tell my kids, you can do things and they'll leave a bruise like, whoa, I survived that one. But some choices you can make in life will leave scars. And that's the things you're trying to get young people and even older people, man, just don't do the stuff that leaves scars, because some of the things, they'll stay with you forever.
Yes, that's for sure. I know some people like to think that they're not pro-military and they'll think that, the military were baby killers. but then they got somebody in their family that had an abortion. So what's up with that? You know?
Well, because when I look at abortion, I think everybody has their own right. I don't get into people's judgment. I let people do. We know we have our own right. We have some people who say, "Oh God, I don't believe in abortions," but yet you would go out here and you would shoot somebody protesting. So we all have the place where I'll kill somebody. This is my legit kill. This is my non-legit kill. So I tell people when you start putting that holier than thou water out there, you better look back at yourself. I look at the military. They call it more after Vietnam. They were calling soldier baby killers. Remember when they came back to Vietnam, because the Vietnam War was not understood. It was a political war. We sent our people, my cousins, my people. Remember that's my age, a little bit older than me, to die for no reason whatsoever. We gained nothing from that. Our freedom was not in jeopardy. We made a call financially and paid a heavy price. A lot of homeless men that you saw out there before this war. Now this war, I still don't think. I think this one was not. We hit a hornet's nest. We went over. We flexed as Americans. We tried to flex, and I remember General Colin Powell said, "We'll get over there. We'll get in there in 4 days. We'll take it. We'll make it to the city in 4 days, and we'll never leave. We'll never leave." And this has come to be true.
It's all about money.
It always about the money. Sometimes it's about ego. Sometimes it's about ego. I'm watching a lot of ego now in politics. I'm watching a lot. I'm watching people. Look, you know what saves everything? My dad used to say, when you can look at everybody in the room and say, I effed this one up. How do we fix it? I messed this one up. And you know what? People will forgive you. When you take the hit, when you look at, but we keep trying to hide the hit and you keep trying to cover the hit with dirt and you just keep moving on and you walk on with impunity, hate builds up. Hate builds up. I'm looking at people who made a lot of mistakes that just keep moving through. And some of the very people that follow you are taking bad hits.
Speaking of taking hits, I think it's time for all white people to admit they have privilege.
They didn't, it's like men have privilege. Think about it. Somebody along the line, men, we have a privilege that women don't have. Look, in this country, if you look how it's founded, and you want to talk, I like when they grab the Constitution, when they grab that piece of paper, I said, well, it was written while we were considered to be slaves. It was written while we were considered to be less than a man. They had to write an amendment, which I think, how dare you, to make me be a full man. We were 3/5 of a person. You don't have that right. I don't pay attention to that amendment. You have no right. That's my inalienable right. I'm a man. I was born a man. You can't give me. God gave that to me. You just because you took it from me, you can't give it to me. It's like if you incarcerate a man for 25 years and realize you were wrong and you drop a little money on the outside, you have to do more than drop him some money. You owe that person. I watch these shows. They're on Netflix right now, but other people are locked up, white men, black men, Spanish men locked up. How do you come out of a prison with no anger? How do you come out with I'm trying to look at them. How do you come out with your heart intact? And you were locked up for 25 years, lost all your youth. And you say, I just want to be with my family that's left. That's it. But we owe that person a debt. We owe those people a debt. We do. So I look in this country, all we wanted, when people are marching, all they want to say, yo, yeah, we did this. Yeah, there is entitlement. Well, you can even see the entitlement during the protest. When I see the young white kids, it's not part. See, I'm an old man. I can say he's not it. I'm watching TV. He's not with it. He's not with it. I can see the fake. And then I got the guys with the camera like, oh, look at me. Everybody got to go live on their page. This is the first protest I've ever seen. It's still about me. Look at me. I'm out here. Oh, I got gas. Did you see me get gas? Well, wait till you get shot, bro. Let me see if you come back. When they start shooting, what are you going to do?
Exactly. Wow. So to what degree do you think we're going to come out of this civil unrest and have figured anything out any better than we have in my lifetime? In 69 years, I've never seen it get better.
Think about it. You said it right. You know what you just said? In your 69 years, in my 64 years, I've never seen a real get better. I've seen laws get passed, but people kept the hatred in their heart. I've seen laws get enacted. Now, what's going to happen? The 4 police officers, yeah, they're all getting charged. You know, they're going after, I mean, so they're trying, that's that quick appeasement. Like when in 68, when they were burning, well, Civil Rights Act was passed 3 weeks later because they wanted to stop the burning. It didn't change how people felt. So this is my philosophy. I've said it, I think I said it starting 10 years ago. My generation, your generation, we're the last generation where racism was like here, right on us. I mean, we drinking at different water fountains, going to different schools. I mean, the great grandson of a slave. I think our generation has to die out to give young people hope because we carry too much in us and we've carried it for so long. Because I don't trust people to change. I think some people will change, but not enough people. And when I look at young racists, you just inherited that race. That's like a trust fund. You don't even know why you hate. You weren't even around. So you inherited. You inherited racism. You're wearing hip hop clothes. You're singing the song. Oh, that is the strangest. That one. So maybe we just have to die out because now this inherited racism, they got to create a whole new frenzy. Like, I hate you. And of course, what, bro? What, you 45 years old? What you even know about it? What have you even seen?
My gosh, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
In the next 10, 15 years, we're dropping off. We're dropping, March. We are dropping. It's the music, our influence. Did you read yesterday? Oh, in the news, look on the news, in 1997, a cat wrote a book. He talks every 80 years, there's a great revolution turnover. In 97, he wrote that in 2020, there will be a revolution between the boomers and the millennials and Generation Z.
Wow.
In 1997, he called it because he said every 80 years. He says every 80 years, that's the life of a person, you know, that lifespan of a person. He said there's a big turmoil.
Well,
And you're seeing clashing now. You're seeing it.
I think the biggest thing that we as white people can do is admit we're super, super white privilege. Knock it off with the denial. It's not getting us anywhere. It's not getting the world anywhere.
It's not getting the world anywhere. And the thing is, people are on demand. You know, when people demand, I just want to be equal. It's not a big demand. Women are saying, I want to be in the same playing field. You know, have you seen the play Hamilton?
Not yet.
Oh, you got to see Hamilton. Hamilton is almost a metaphor for the world right now. Hamilton, Lin-Miranda, that play was so. I haven't been blown away, you know, in a long time. When I saw the play, I was lucky to see the original cast. I walked out and said, "This is beyond the play. I don't even know how he wrote this." That's I mean, that's just providence. I think. I don't think divine intervention. There's a song in the play says, "I just want to be in the room where the decisions are made." What is every movement about? I just want to be in the room because that's where all the decisions are made. How can you make a decision? How can women do what's best for them if they can't be in the room? How can Black people do stuff if they can't be in the room? How come my Native Americans, how come Latinos can't be? If you can't be in the room when they're making choices for you, you can't influence the decision.
That's really smart.
Yeah, it was God. The place is, I guess, to bring it back. No, to put it on Netflix. I think now so everybody's home, so everybody can watch it. So check it out.
Awesome. I will watch it.
Yeah,
I will watch it. Where do you want people to follow you? Do you want any PayPal, Cash App, Venmo? What do you want?
Sinbad, I do. I'm Sinbad Bad on Twitter, Instagram, and I'm just Sinbad on Facebook. I'm getting ready to start a YouTube page. I started something this week. I was trying to do too much. You know, you get online. I was trying. Should I use Zoom? Should I use Facebook? Should I use YouTube? Should I use StreamYard? And I did way too much, and I collapsed. So let me go back simple, because I like how I can take Zoom and go right into YouTube. I can take Zoom and go right into, you know, whatever I want to go into. And if I want to have an audience there, we can have people chat. I think Zoom is almost a super me. I've been using Zoom for music for 4 years. But Zoom has become like unless you need all the bells and whistles with names flying around. But if you don't need all that, you just want to talk to somebody and then have other people see it. Because you're going to Facebook right now, right?
Yes, it's going to Facebook right now.
Yeah. You go right out of Zoom. And then I was trying to do Facebook and Twitter and YouTube at the same time. That bandwidth just gets so clogged. I said, I know it sounds cool. We're gonna multicast. You know what? I'm just gonna single cast. How about that? I'm gonna send it to one spot. The hardest part was like my main audience, I think, is on Instagram, but Instagram is probably the worst place when you want to do this. It has its advantages when you want to do something real quick. But when you want to do something like this, it's Zoom and there's nothing called OBS. I think the two ways to go. Everybody trying
OBS.
to OBS. Yeah, OBS is like you can go from OBS. Now I tell you about OBS that you really like, and another thing called Ecamm. If you're a Mac person, it's called Ecamm. ECAMM. You can take that and push it into Zoom. So your square can have banners going underneath. You can fix it up real pretty because it's coming from Ecamm and it goes into your square on Zoom.
Holy
So you,
Toledo.
yeah, see, but in OBS, you can have like 6 people up from Zoom, but pull each one out. So there looks like 6 different guests, not with the Zoom look. You can push one up, pull it back, zoom one in, put a graphic up. Yeah, it has a lot of advantages. A
I
lot of
got
advantages.
two things to say to you before I let go of you. One is my parents went through the Holocaust,
Yo,
and with all this
wow.
technology that's going on, I just sit sometimes and chuckle quietly
Yeah,
about what if Anne Frank had Facebook?
they're the founder.
Yeah.
And Frank, and Frank had Facebook.
What
They
would
would
her
have they
hashtag?
would have tracked there. And you know what? And she'd have been so busy worrying about her battery strength and all that, you wouldn't have had the time to think. But think during the Holocaust, think about slavery, think about all those movements. They were able to get information out to each other in the camps. Different. Think about how we were able to move and how they were able to move. We've got all this technology, and there's still no cohesiveness because they're not built that way. Their social media to them means this. Our social media meant I'll see you guys at the meeting, and we'll talk and we'll strategize. It's different strategizing like this. I mean, it's good when you can't get to each other, but there's something about seeing each other, being with each other. We're meant to be around other people. Human beings are meant. That's why I think so many kids are anxious and anxious, and everybody got ADHD and everybody's bipolar. I say, you know what? Because everybody lives in their own little world, and everybody's irritated by this, and they got the thing pinging and pinging and pinging all the time, and that's just not normal.
So the last thing I want to say to you is this, Sinbad. I had a contest to see who had something funny to say to you.
Uh
And
huh.
99% of the comics just wanted me to tell you how they met you and can you put them on the show. But
I
one
know.
one person came up with the funniest comment. It was Christy Miller out of New York. She's
Okay.
she's open for Andrew Dice Clay. Anyway, Christy Miller says, "Do you still dunk?"
Oh, I haven't dunked, man. I haven't. I haven't touched the net. I haven't touched. I haven't seen the net. First, I got to put my glasses on, so I don't want to get too close to it. I haven't dunked. I think since I was 45. That's
Wow.
the last time. And I haven't played basketball. I think since I was in my 40s, 45. Man, knee replacements, double fusion in my back. When I watch sports now, and I see a guy fall down, I said, "Oh, that I used to do that." And now I don't even know how somebody bounces like that. I don't know how the body bounces like that. And I tell people, young people, it's going to happen faster than you think. It's going to happen faster than you think. Try to do as much as you can. You
Yeah,
don't have as long. You don't have as long as you think you do. Even this pandemic, we all said we're going to get in shape and we're going to learn an instrument. Even I said, because we tried to do so much, I said, oh man, I was doing more when there wasn't a pandemic because I knew my time was limited.
yes.
Now we got so much time. We think, oh, I'm gonna learn to be a master at the piano. You realize it's just as hard during a pandemic as it is when there's not a pandemic. It's the same notes. It's just as hard.
What's the one thing nobody knows about you that you want to divulge?
I think they're finding out. But one thing is music. Music trumps comedy in my life. I play bass. I play guitar. I'm learning saxophone. I'm hanging in with the trombone. I'm trying to play piano right now. Trying to learn how to play harmonica. I live and breathe music. I think music actually does soothe the savage beast. I think music. Think about jazz. Jazz had no race to it. When cats played music, if you could play, if a cat could play, a cat could play.
Uh,
And you hung out. Music used to always be that thing that hey, we're gonna cross generations, We're going to cross color lines. We're going to cross all that stuff. Hell, even a racist will go to a concert that he likes. Even a racist will sit and watch a person of a color he hates because he loves the music.
That's great.
Yeah.
One time I was walking in downtown Seattle and my feet were tired. So I went into a hotel. And when I went in, this music was coming out of a piano. So I had to go to it.
Yeah. It called you, didn't it?
It did.
I've been in hotels. I've done that. I go to a hotel like this. Is that live? And I'll just go and sit.
Yeah.
And watch somebody and go like, oh man, that was beautiful. And I have to tell them, I want you to know, because you spent a lot of time to learn that craft. You might not be on the road as a big name player, but I want you to know that that was beautiful, man.
Yeah, that's beautiful that you do that. So I heard this music and I instinctively knew this little old Black man was somebody.
Uh-huh.
He was like 90 some years old at the piano. And I said, who are you? And he said, I'm the original pianist for the Ink Spots.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The stories he could tell.
Yes.
The stories he could tell and the journey of his life would probably just blow our mind, you know?
Yes.
Would just blow our mind.
What's the legacy you're leaving?
My legacy, it's funny. If you go, we have a podcast called Blurred Empire, BLERD. That stands for Black Nerd. There's a bunch of us. We were closet nerds back in the day, but now a nerd can come out the closet. I just did an interview with my son. My son is a Renaissance man, director, producer, writer, editor, sound. You know, he's the one with the 4-month-old. We did a thing about what's going to be with the 3 generations because I'm not going to be here to the day that my grandson becomes a grown man. I'm glad I was here for my son to at least be at this age. And I talked about the world with him, and man, I almost went to tears. The things I wanted to do, the legacy with him, I did. He picked it up. He picked up. You know, all you want from your kids is that they follow the dream. They treat people with kindness. They treat people with love. You be a father. You be present. You fight for the underdog. I don't care who it is. You fight for those who can't fight for themselves. And you know you want, and I'm just going to say the language, you just don't want your kids to grow up being an asshole. You know, you just want to be, when somebody's doing something stupid, you don't want to be like, hey man, that's your son. Oh my God, that was my son. You just don't want, you want your kid to be the good one. You just want your kid to be the one that stopped the other one.
Yes.
And that's not much to ask, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. That's
It's a lot.
Means everything.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. I've loved you. I can't say I've grown up with you. I came before you, but I've watched you. I've been a fan.
I was right behind you. I was right behind you, though.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I love you to pieces.
I got one question for you. Your favorite artist growing up that you ever saw perform live?
Bill Cosby.
I know I can't. You know what? I know it's not popular to say it. Man's a genius. Had a big heart. I saw him do things that made no sense, and that's why it breaks my heart that this will be the way it ends for him. This is how he'll be viewed for those who don't know. And for young kids, he just all they see is this evil man. I said, I tell kids, I wish you knew. I wish you knew what I knew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was your favorite Red Fox?
It was Bill Cosby, Red Fox, Flip Wilson, Richard Pryor. But know who made me become a comic when I was 5 years old? Alan King.
What? I loved Alan King.
Alan King. Do you know, I didn't know what a comic was. I was 4 or 5 years old. I tell the story. When I met Alan King, he said, what? I said, man, I was in the bed. And I was listening to TV. He was doing remember he used to always do these mother-in-law jokes. He was talking about mother-in-law. I didn't know what a mother-in-law was. And I walked out. I'm looking, and my dad said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to be him when I grow up.
Oh, that's so cool.
And Jerry Lewis and Jonathan Winters.
Yes, yes.
And then George Carlin. Man, these men were, when they say who's the greatest comics, I say that generation before us, nobody tops. None of us in that list. None of us are in that list. We're like everything that came after them. We're like AC. They're BC. we're AC.
Yes.
You know, so when they ask me who's my top comics, well, let's put them on the Mount Rushmore, and
Yeah.
we're just chasing them.
When I got, I was bantering with you on Twitter when Twitter first came out, when I didn't even know how to write a joke. And then I went to go look at female comics that I could look up to, and I ran across Wendy Liebman.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
watched her, and I thought, I can write that kind of stuff, So I wrote a bunch of stuff down, sent it to her, and I said, here you go. Here's some jokes. And she's like, here you go. You go on stage with this.
Wow. Wow.
So
you know what? That's what
reason,
a true comic does that. A true comic will tell another comic, I'm not going to take your jokes. You go ahead and use those jokes.
Yeah. That's the reason I got on stage, because I got hit by a drunk driver in '96, and I was afraid to go on stage. And she said, no, you're going on stage.
Wow. Yeah, that's how you beat it. And then you make a joke about the drunk. We're the only people that can take tragedy. Take the worst. Richard Pryor can take tragedy about getting burned. We take the tragedy and go like, ooh, this is another 30 minutes. While they're taking us to the hospital, it's like, give me a pen, give me a pen, give me a pen. This is another 30 minutes. We have the strangest, even when I'm watching a building burn, I said, is it too soon to say what I want? I watched a protester go in the Cheesecake Factory and came out with a whole cheesecake. Came out with all the stuff. She came out with a cheesecake. And the dude walked by and said, really? Really? I said, man, there's humor everywhere, even in the darkness, even in the darkness, man. I just, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they had some of the most wicked sense of humor. Oh God.
Really?
They were, oh God, they were funny. Martin Luther King was a funny man.
Really?
Malcolm X, because his daughter, Tyler, Adela, she told me how funny her dad was. See, everybody wants to see the pictures where he's all stoic like this. She said, no, he was funny.
I can't believe, I just have to hear some funny.
Yeah, him and Red, can you believe this? Red Fox and Malcolm X washed dishes together in St. Louis. One was called Detroit Red, and the other one was called St. Louis Red. And they're back there washing dishes together, not who they are yet.
Wow.
He wasn't even Malcolm X yet. His last name was still Little.
Can I go look that up on the internet?
Yes.
So
yes.
It's called Detroit Little?
Yeah. Detroit Red was because when you're light skinned, they call you Red. So Malcolm was Detroit Red, and Red Fox was St. Louis Red. I think it's even in his autobiography, the one that Alex Haley wrote. It might be in there too.
My gosh.
Yeah.
So is there anything you haven't done that you're still dying to do if God lets you live long enough to do it?
I'm going to tell you something going to blow your mind. I have not done my greatest thing. I have not even, I think my body of work, when I look at my body of work, I said, that's the part of the iceberg that everybody sees. And my best stuff is down. People got so caught up in my style of comedy that they didn't see the man. So my goal is, see, I was supposed to be on a cruise ship with Dave Koz. Right now, this month. I was supposed to be on a cruise ship with Dave Koz.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was gonna play music, but now it's postponed to 2022. I got 2 years now to really work on my horn and work on my music. Things I want to do, I want to produce, I want to create stuff. I want to do a Netflix special, but I look at young comics and say, I don't want to just do a comedy special. I want to do three different specials and 3 different nights. I want to film a different hour each night, and the audience tells me where to go.
Whoa.
I even challenged Zoom. I even challenged Netflix. I can do a stand-up special now with no audience. All I need is some LED screens where I can see people on Zoom and just give me some of the audio so I can hear when they're laughing. And I said, I can do a show and let them, and they kind of talk to me and tell me what direction I want to go. I said, I challenged them. I will do a stand-up special with no audience as long as I can see my people on Zoom. And then I saw my daughter-in-law show me a picture. Oprah, she's doing the show. She has a laptop here, and she has 3 monitors on the side and all her audience. Because we need that. Remember I said we need our audience. I've seen some comics take a L, take a terrible loss, trying to do stand up with just this webcam. I said, dude, stop, stop, stop. I know we're trying to get paid, but don't do that ever again. Because then you're just rambling because you got no feedback. You're just rambling. So luckily, my style is I always ask people, what do you want me to talk about? I ask questions from the audience. So I think starting next week, I'm gonna do a live show, right, from the desk with Sinbad with a Zoom audience, and people, you guys tell me what you want me to talk about.
Oh, that's going to be great. You're going to do it on Facebook?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it on Zoom and push it out to Facebook.
Wonderful. I'll be there to watch and I'll promote it.
Cool, cool.
Awesome. Give me 5.
All right, I'll give you some right there. You stay
Thank you.
on it, man. Stay on it. And I don't know when the day opens up. I'm supposed to go to Arizona,
What?
June 12th. And I don't know. Len, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna take pictures with people. I gotta be in the dressing room by myself. It's like a diva that I've never been. And then I'm worried about the hotel, and I'm bringing a UV light so I can UV light the bed. I said, you know what? If it's gonna take all this, maybe I shouldn't be going. You know, I'm gonna drive. I'm not gonna fly. It's gonna be. I don't know.
Well, when you come through Vegas, let me know.
I will. I know. I'm waiting for that. Green Valley. I had to let that one. I was supposed to be there in July. So
Do you go and do Gabe Lopez's Dirty at 12:30 show?
I have not done that show yet. I need to go. You know what? Because at 12, I'm like into my shows and stuff. So I've got to do that.
It's so
Which hotel
dope.
are they doing it? Which place are they doing it at?
South Point Casino.
All right. I got send that to Maria. I'm gonna go up and give them one of the dirtiest sets they ever seen and just freak everybody out. They would never expect that from Sinbad. I'm gonna give them a dirty set so they can get over themselves and get over me, and we can move on to the next place.
You know what would be funny is to do an impersonation of Alan King with the map. Wasn't he the one that did the map?
Yes, he
But
did.
have it be the vagina.
Yes, man, they got away. Think about how much innuendo. Think about, man, they were so slick because there was so much censorship back then. Oh, what's my man? Oh, come on. Why am I tripping? Why am I tripping? You know our guy. He died with his pants around his ankles with a needle in him.
It wasn't Robin.
No. This is back in the 50s and 60s. He was the first one, the first thinker. I can't believe this name is not coming up. Everybody thinks they know it. He went because he did a routine. Steve Allen put him on TV and said, hey man, you can't be dirty. And he did a whole thing about snorting airplane glue and nobody picked it up. None of the parents picked it up. He played a kid going into a hobby shop buying airplane glue because everybody was huffing airplane glue. Genius.
That is.
Why am I tripping? Why am I tripping? This bothers me. I can't remember. See, I'm at that age now.
Yeah. We're going to forget things, you know?
You got to know who I'm talking about. Who was it? Oh,
you want me to Google it?
Yes.
Airplane glue bit?
Yeah. And they were so young. Like, remember, like Sid Caesar was 18 and a millionaire. People forget how bad these cats were.
Lenny Bruce?
Lenny Bruce.
We did it.
Lenny Bruce. The
I have to
original.
look that up.
The original bad boy. Lenny Bruce, and to die so tragically. The picture, whoever let them take that picture, him sitting on the toilet with his pants around his ankles with a needle in him. I said, yeah, you love to see us fall. That's why I refuse to get you that picture. I'm not going to destroy myself. You got to take me out. They love when we take ourselves out. They love say, oh, see, he was miserable. It makes other people feel good. See, it looks like he was having fun. I said, no, we are having fun, even when we're miserable. Even on a bad day, this is a good day.
That's right.
Being a comedian on a bad day, this is a good day.
I can't wait for somebody to give me a pile of shit so I can turn it into more comedy.
I know, we love it. We look for it. We stand in line. I steal people's lives. There were people standing in line to go do my show, and they didn't realize I was standing in line. Back in the day, I was standing in line and listen to people, and I started doing routines about their lives. And a woman said, oh my God, I just said that to my husband. I said, I know. When you're around a comic, it belongs to us. It's the law of the land. You can't copyright it. It's ours. You shouldn't have said it to us. If you speak around us, it belongs to us. Everyone knows that.
Even if you heckle, it's now
Yes,
our material.
it's mine. You shouldn't have thrown it out at me. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Why should you hate a heckler?
Oh, man. I see people get hecklers thrown out. I said, you just throw out half your routine. You just threw out half your routine. The only ones that's hard are the drunk ones. But I found out with a drunk heckler, if you hit him real quick, it confuses them and they get tired. Remember, when you're drunk, you're almost at that point when they're the most vocal, that's when they're about to pass out. So I just let them keep talking. I told artists, let him talk. He's gonna wear them out. And think next thing you know, they're just, he's done. He's done. I overworded him. Let's let him overword himself.
Thank you so much, Sinbad. You're so
right,
special. Thank you
all
for
right, now,
who you are.
thank you so much. And you stay strong out there. And hopefully,
Thank you for your service.
thank you. Thank you. Yours was better than mine, probably. Thank you.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I got over.
They caught me.
See you later.
All right, now you take care.
Okay, bye.
All right,
Love
bye-bye.
you.
Everybody's talking at the comic spot.